How do you improve on KFC? You really can't. But you can play off that finger-licking greatness with some creamy slaw on the side. Why are we suddenly obsessed with plain old cabbage? These are the ingredients that turn this extra into a must-have. Using fresh produce is the secret to a solid slaw, and KFC definitely delivers. There's no limp cabbage in sight, and the carrots stay vibrant and snappy. On top of that, KFC chops everything into an easy-to-eat blend, letting the textures and flavors come together for a satisfying bite. That crunch matters too. It helps offset any extra moisture. The cabbage soaks up the dressing, giving you a sweet, tangy pop with every forkful. And since KFC mixes up new batches throughout the day, you can trust your slaw hasn't been sitting around losing its edge. Salt does the heavy lifting. It may seem basic, but it's incredibly flexible, boosting every other flavor in a recipe. Fast food spots are known for amping up the sodium to make things taste bolder, and KFC's coleslaw is no exception. They're definitely not shy with the seasoning.
Eat up! I'm doing the cooking tonight.
A single cup of KFC's coleslaw carries about 361 milligrams of sodium, and that's before you add a side of mashed potatoes and gravy, which brings roughly 519 milligrams in just half a cup. Still, that salty punch is part of what makes the slaw so tasty. Now let's move on to an ingredient you probably had no idea was hiding in there. It may seem unexpected for something that leans savory, but a single cup of KFC coleslaw contains 26 grams of sugar. If you've ever questioned why it's so hard to stop eating, there's your answer. It hits that sweet craving spot perfectly.
And she knew, in that exact moment, what it meant to feel love.
It's probably the last thing you'd imagine in a veggie-based side, but KFC's coleslaw seems to get its sweetness from multiple sources. The chain keeps its exact formula under wraps, but according to former staff, the dressing includes a generous scoop of added sugar, plus whatever sugar is already mixed into the mayo. Put it all together, and you've got far more sweetness than you'd ever expect from a bowl of cabbage, which explains why it's so good. Flip through almost any coleslaw recipe and you'll notice vinegar is the ingredient that brings everything to life. Some versions lean on white vinegar, others prefer apple cider, but nearly all rely on some kind of acidic kick. One former KFC worker has even said the chain used cider vinegar in its tightly guarded formula. What is certain is that the vinegar adds a tangy, slightly sharp edge that lifts the rest of the flavors, cutting through the creamy dressing and making it brighter. It blends in so seamlessly, you might not have even realized it was there. All right, now we're getting into an ingredient that absolutely takes over the mix, one you can't overlook: mayonnaise. It forms the thick, luxurious base of the dressing before the chopped cabbage, carrots, and onions join the party. That creamy, fatty richness balances the vinegar perfectly, creating the classic coleslaw taste everyone knows. Some homemade versions swap in Miracle Whip, and according to former KFC workers, some stores used it as well. You can certainly try your hand at a DIY version, but it's tough to rival the flavor that comes from the way restaurants prep massive batches. A trip to KFC usually means you're digging into freshly fried, crispy chicken. But if you opt for something with extra heat, it doesn't take long before your taste buds start waving the white flag. That's when the cool, creamy slaw steps up. Whether the spice level is high or the weather's doing the sweating for you, a few bites of chilled coleslaw are the perfect reset. And let's be honest, no one's serving slaw at room temperature. The dairy alone means it has to stay refrigerated. But unlike other sides like fries, mac and cheese, or corn, KFC's coleslaw actually shines when it's ice cold. So go ahead and demolish those Nashville hot nuggets without a second thought.
Man, cut the bull joke and give me one of the wings.
We've all heard the phrase, you eat with your eyes first. And when you think back to the dull, gray, mass-produced foods of decades past, it's clear we've gotten better at spotting what actually tastes good. We've also developed what's known as visual hunger, that instinctive boost of appetite we get just from looking at food, sometimes while we're already eating it. So what does this have to do with KFC's coleslaw? One glance shows off those bright, lively colors standing out against the creamy mayo. That visual pop actually amps up the pleasure of every bite. Not that it matters much. We'd happily eat this slaw with our eyes shut. We're going full Goldilocks here. KFC coleslaw isn't too much, and it's not too little. It's just right. Served in an individual size at about half a cup, this portion shows that KFC knows how to keep you coming back for more. After all, it's meant to be a side. The place isn't called Kentucky Fried Coleslaw. Could you overdo it? Sure. Try tackling a family-sized tub solo. But for a standard drive-thru order, the smaller portion is perfectly reasonable. Enough to satisfy, yet still leave you looking forward to your next KFC visit.